I'll make you a promise. Hit that follow, and the episodes will improve within 1 month. Or unfollow me. Thanks.
The ground is soaked in blood. The copper tang of it thick in the air. You can taste it. The sun blazes high above Chittagar Fort. Its merciless rays reflecting off thousands of swords and spears. The clash of steel is deafening. A chaotic symphony of war. Above, on the towering walls of the fort, Rajput archers let loose volleys of arrows, their sharp tips cutting through the thick air. Below, Mughal cannons thunder, blasting chunks of ancient stone into the sky. Dust and smoke swirl, blinding soldiers as they stumble over the bodies of the fallen. A Rajput warrior, his face streaked with blood, swings his sword with a feral roar. His blade catches a Mughal soldier in the neck, spraying hot crimson across the sand. He doesn't stop to celebrate. There's no fucking time. Another enemy is already charging, spear aimed at his chest. The cries of war elephants rise above the chaos, their armored tusks crashing into walls, shattering stone and men alike. The Rajputs, they're outnumbered. Their defenses are crumbling under the relentless Mughal onslaught. But they are descended from gods, so they say. Or is it demons? Every swing of their sword, a desperate prayer. On the battlements, women and children watch in horror. They know what's coming. If the walls fall, there's no mercy waiting for them. Inside the fort, the sacred fire burns, ready for Jahar, the ultimate sacrifice. The women and children will not be taken alive. The Mughal general orders another cannon blast, the sound ripping through the battlefield like the wrath of a vengeful god. A massive section of the wall collapses in a cloud of dust. The Mughals surge forward, their war cries drowning out the screams of the dying. And yet, the Rajputs hold the line. Their leader, his armor dented and bloody, raises his sword and shouts in Sanskrit, his voice booming across the battlefield. "Victory to the Mother Goddess!" The cry is taken up by his men. A final roar of defiance as they charge into the fray. The Mughal forces push forward, determined to crush the Rajput spirit. But these warriors, born of the desert and fire, will not go down without a fight. This isn't just a battle for land. It's a battle for honor, for survival, and for their fucking souls.
Picture this. You're standing in the blistering heat of Rajasthan. The fucking sun, just a relentless beast. And the only relief is the shadow of a colossal fort rising from the earth like it's been here since the fucking dinosaurs. These walls, silent now, once screamed with chaos, swords clashing, men shouting, and bodies hitting the fucking dirt and never moving again. It's the 16th century, and India is a fucking mess. Kingdoms, egos, and dick measuring contests. On one side, you've got the Rajputs, a warrior class with balls of steel and a stubborn sense of honor. On the other, the Mughals, a bunch of ambitious motherfuckers fresh off the battlefield, dragging artillery, war horses, and dreams of running the whole fucking continent. This is a story of blood, fire, and one hell of a fight for survival. Before we dive into this bloody fucking mess, let me give you some context. India, South Asia to be exact, is massive, chaotic, and ancient as hell. It's surrounded by the Indian Ocean, the Himalayas, and just about every goddamn landscape you can imagine. Deserts, rivers, jungles, you name it. This land is the birthplace of religions like Hinduism and Buddhism, and it's been a fucking hotspot for trade, culture, and war for thousands of years. But in the 16th century, forget about that one unified nation bullshit. India was a damn patchwork. Independent kingdoms, each one more stubborn and more territorial than the next. And in this chaotic mosaic, two forces stood out. The Rajputs, descendants of the gods themselves, or that's what they fucking said, were warriors to the fucking core, running the northern and western regions. And then came the Mughals, a dynasty of Central Asian conquerors led by Babur, who was like, fuck it, let's take the whole fucking thing. What followed? Carnage. The Rajputs weren't just some sword-wielding maniacs. They were a culture built on honor. These guys would rather eat fucking poison than live a life of shame. They built massive forts like Chittorgarh and Amer. Fortresses that screamed, good fucking luck taking us, motherfucker, and your mom's a bitch. But then came 1526, and with it, Babur. This guy wasn't just another power-hungry asshole. He was a descendant of both Timur and Genghis Khan. His army had cannons, guns, and a thirst for fucking conquest. The Battle of Panipat was his mic drop moment, and it marked the start of the Mughal dynasty. The Rajputs, they weren't gonna roll over some motherfucking pussy from Central Asia. They dug in their heels, sharpened their swords, and said, come and fucking try it. What followed was decades of bloodshed. The first major clash between these two titans, the Battle of Kanwa in 1527. Rana Sanga of Mewar led a coalition of Rajput forces against Babur. Picture this. War elephants charging, cannons booming, and men slicing each other to fucking ribbons, and it's 110 degrees out. The Rajputs fought like hell. But Babur had artillery. You can't bring swords and elephants to a fucking cannon fight and expect to win. Rana Sanga's forces were fucking annihilated. But here's the thing. Defeat didn't mean shit to the Rajputs. They didn't back down. They regrouped. They fought. And they made every victory a living hell for the Mughals. Jump forward a couple years, you have Akbar, Babur's grandson.
This guy was smart as shit. He knew the Rajputs weren't just warriors, they were fucking symbols of resilience. So instead of just steamrolling them, he played the long game. Akbar's strategy: diplomacy, alliances, fucking intermarriage. Can't conquer with the sword, conquer with the dick. He brought Rajput kings like Raja Man Singh into the Mughal court. But not everyone took the bait. Maharana Pratap of Mewar, this guy, said, "Fuck you, Akbar," and kept fighting. The Battle of Haldagati in 1576 is one for the books. Pratap's forces were outnumbered and outgunned, but they fought like fucking demons. Even in defeat, Pratap became a legend, a symbol of unyielding defiance against the Mughal juggernaut. As they fought, the Rajputs and Mughals influenced each other. The Mughals adopted Rajput styles in their architecture. Think of the palaces of Jaipur and Amer. Rajputs served in Mughal armies, and Mughal customs filtered into Rajput traditions. It was messy as fuck, but it worked. This wasn't just war, it was a cultural exchange, born out of bloodshed and coexistence. Together, they shaped the India we know today, whether they like it or not. Here's the fucking takeaway. The Rajputs and the Mughals weren't just warriors, they were architects of history. Their battles were brutal, their alliances fragile, but their legacy, that shit's fucking eternal. Remember the stories behind them, the blood spilled, the alliances forged, and the unrelenting spirit of a people who refused to fucking surrender. Thanks for tuning into this wild ride through history. Until next time, I'm Colin, your host. If you're vibing with these stories, hit that follow, leave a review, share it with a friend. Appreciate ya.